Alright, it's Henry again, and this is the second work in progress video for my Tengu Gundam that I'm going to be entering in the GBWC at New York Comic Con. Before I get into this, I do want to really thank everyone who's donated to my GoFundMe page. I'm honestly overwhelmed at how much money you guys, y'all have been so generous. It's been awesome. And I love every single one of you, and thank y'all for supporting me and my hobby and this trip to New York, which is something I've never been to New York before, so this will be a first time for me, and thanks to you guys, everything financially is taken care of. I'm set to go. I got a little less than 3 weeks before I make the trip, so this guy is getting close to being ready to, for paint, and I'm looking forward to having a really good time. So thank you again to every single one of you, and I really appreciate it a lot. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do as like a thank you gift that I'm going to send out to the people who donated, but I'll definitely do something. But anyway, here is my Tengu Gundam. Let me readjust my camera here. Alright. And he's, let's see, I think I didn't have a whole lot done to the actual Gundam itself on the first work in progress video. But as you can see, I've gotten quite a bit done on him. A lot of it is the Musha armor attached to the ashtray. I guess I'll just start from the feet and work my way up. I've got these thruster armored things that were on the Musha, pretty much on the same place on the ashtray. Piece of Musha armor there, and I got this little bow on his. This little piece came off on his crotch piece there. The Tengu usually is depicted dressed like a Yamabushi monk, and they have the robe and the sash, and it usually has like a little belt that's tied in the front. So I got that. That actually came from the little Pettit Guy model kit, and I debated whether or not I was actually going to make real cloth robe for him, but I think rather than do that, because that would cover up a lot of this plastic work, I think rather than doing that, I'm just going to make the sash that goes like around his neck and sort of drapes over his chest. It's got the pom-poms on it. It's usually got 4, sometimes 6 little round poof balls on there. I am going to make that, but I'm not going to do like a full cloth robe. I think I'm just going to stick mostly with the armor. But I've got the Shin Musha Gundam. Oops. Anyway, just skipped a heartbeat for a second. Got the Shin Musha Gundam skirt armor on there. This piece of forearm armor just came off, and stick that back on there. Oh well, I'll glue it on when it gets time for that. Anyway, piece of forearm armor there. Try to zoom in on him a little bit. The face, I decided rather than sticking a Tengu nose on the ashtray's face, I went ahead and sculpted a Tengu mask, and I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. Got those big flared out nostrils, that menacing scowl. It really looks pretty intimidating. It honestly kind of looks like Master Asia now that I look at it. And I covered up the camera on the top with a little cap. Tengu are supposed to have this little black cap that they wear on their heads. And I'll probably have a little string that'll show that cap being tied onto his head. Got the Musha Gundam shoulder armor. I haven't done a whole lot of work on these other than connecting them to the ashtray with a ball joint, but I have a really cool idea. I'm going to describe some panel lines and do some detailing on this, and then with some thin plot plate, I'm going to cut out the Japanese kanji for Tengu. It's 2 kanji. I'm going to put one right here and one right there and have it on the shoulder armor. I think that'll look pretty cool. The back of the head, Tengu are usually depicted with long hair, and rather than doing long hair in the back, I went ahead and put some feathers coming out the back of his head. So I've got, I don't know, probably about a dozen feathers coming off the back. Just glued them to those red I guess they're thrusters, whatever they are on the back of Astray's head. So I thought that made his head look a little more bird-like. The wings, oh man. Skirt armor came off. There's a lot of stuff that's probably going to fall off during the course of this video just because nothing's been, permanently glued in place yet. I have spent a lot of time these past couple weeks cutting out and sculpting feathers. Oh my god. More stuff falling off. Anyway, I took the Universe Booster wings and basically just cut out dozens and dozens of feathers out of pla plate. And for the larger ones, I took a 1mm piece of plastic rod and sharpened it and made the little vein that goes down the middle of the feather. I didn't bother doing that for the smaller ones just because that would have been insane, but I did do it for the larger feathers on the ends here. And this one I went ahead and primed just so you could see the detail better. I actually went in with a hobby knife and scratched in, it's kind of rough, needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but scratched in the actual feather texture. Not sure how, yeah, you can see it a little bit on camera, but once it gets painted, I'm going to be painting the wings black. Once it gets painted, I think it'll look really, really cool. Anyway, I'm super happy with the way these wings are looking. And just, man, lots and lots of cutting out and gluing on these individual feathers. Took the two giant thrusters that were on the back of the shoulder armor and connected those to the backpack. It's just got a piece of pla plate right now, but I'm going to add some more like pipes and cables and detailing and stuff down in there later. Let's see, is that it for the Tengu Gundam himself? I think so. Let me sort of make sure he doesn't fall over. A number of people on the last video had mentioned that Tengu usually always has a fan, and I was planning to make the fan, I just forgot to mention it in this first video. And the fan is basically 99.9% done. Just like the feathers on the wings, I had to go in and individually sculpt every feather on this fan out of pla plate. So I went ahead and primed one side so you could see the texture better. And these I made out of thicker pla plate. I made this out of 2mm thick pla plate, whereas the wing feathers were 1/4 millimeter. So these are a lot fatter and more substantial, but the detailing and texturing on them is a lot nicer. I'm super happy with it, with the way this fan turned out. And I've got some of these little Musha Gundam emblems. I've stripped the gold plating off of them. I'm just going to glue that in the center right there once everything's done. But yeah, really cool looking fan. I said on Twitter, if nothing else on this kit looks good, this fan is going to look awesome. Let's see, the swords. Here we go. I'm going to give him basically Astray swords. I cut off the end piece. I'm just going to make a basic square end piece there. But instead of having two swords of equal length, I made him a long sword and a short sword. I basically just clipped it off and then cemented it back on there at a shorter length. The only thing I really have left to scratch build on this kit are the sheaths, because Sengoku Astray just carries his swords on his shoulders, so I gotta scratch build some sheaths for those. I can't use the, oh my god, almost knocked over the camera. I can't use the Musha Gundam sword because it's more curved. Oops. The sword has more of a curvature to it than the Astray sword, not to mention it's shorter. So I'll just have to make some from scratch. One other accessory that I did make, kind of a last minute, last night, I was looking at Tengu pictures on Google, and I just happened to see this and thought it would be a cool little accessory. It's a gourd for drinking. You can put water in it, or sake, whatever. I took a little piece of styrofoam and carved it into the gourd shape, and then just covered it in a thin layer of epoxy putty and let that cure. And then sanded it down smooth, and there you go, gourd. And I'll probably have like a belt on him and have that hanging from his waist. And I just tied a little rope around the middle of it, And the cork and the cord is actually a bamboo skewer that I use for painting parts, and I just cut the end off and stuck it in there. So that was, except for the curing time for the epoxy putty, this took me all of 15 minutes. One more thing, also kind of a last minute decision. I decided, what if I made a little pilot figure for him? So I took the Niels Nielsen figure that came with the Sengoku Astre and made him a tiny little Tengu nose. That's like 0.5 millimeter plastic rod, or it might be smaller because I ended up carving it down a little bit. Made him some wings out of epoxy putty. I'll go in and sort of carve some texture in those later. And yeah, a little Tengu pilot. So, that is the Musha Gundam, or Musha Gundam Astre, Tengu Gundam, whatever he's called. I'm going to move him out of the way so I can show you the display base, which is, construction-wise, finished. Now, at the end of the last video, I had most of this woodwork done. Things I've done since then, I added this kind of spine piece at the top of the roof there. I added these little frame parts on the actual Itsukushima Tori. These have some kanji written on them. And I actually have a wood burning tool, and I burned in the shingle tile texture on top of the roof. So it's not just drawn in with Sharpie, there's actual texture there that will show up when it's painted. And the broken tiles here on the front and the back, those are, let me grab these, those are going to be where the Tengu Gundam is going to be standing on top of the roof when all this is put together. Because obviously the weight of a Gundam, actually the weight of a Gundam would probably completely destroy this thing, but that obviously wouldn't make for a very good diorama. So I just put some broken tiles here on the roof where he's going to be standing on it. Also burned in some shingle texture on these little mini roof things. I'm not really sure what those are called. The bottom is all clay. I just laid some clay out and smooth that out. Use some wood putty around the edge to make that nice and smooth. And went ahead and primed it because it was like 3 different colors. It was ugly. But I attached the wooden parts to the clay base with epoxy putty. And in the photos of the Itsukushima Tori, you can, it's in water, but at low tide the water recedes and you can see like the crusty barnacle covered bottom of the pillars here. And so I wanted to replicate that in mind, so I went in and really added some rough texture here to the bottom. And I think when I fill it up with the diorama water, I'm only going to go about halfway up these things, because I don't want to completely cover that up. I want some of that to still be visible. And I think it's going to look pretty darn cool. So I think, let me look around my work table. I don't see anything else that I haven't gone over. I've got some parts here. These are just some pipes and things I've got soaking in purple power, stripping the chrome plating off of. Not exactly sure what I'm going to use those for. Probably going to go up under the big shoulder armor and maybe up under the backpack as well. And so the display base is completely done. It's ready for paint. I'm probably going to start painting on it tomorrow, actually, because I want to hurry up and get that painted so I can start pouring the water, because the water, you can only pour like half an inch, or like a quarter of an inch per 24 hours, so it's going to take a while to do the water. And Tengu Gundam himself is actually coming along pretty nicely. He's probably about 75% done construction-wise. Like I said, I got just under 3 weeks before I leave. I don't think painting is going to take too awfully long, because I don't foresee there being a whole lot of masking on this kit, and the color scheme is relatively simple. I'm going to go with black, red, white, and gold. And I'm honestly thinking I may just paint this entire thing by hand. I may do some airbrushing on it, but I think I'm just going to paint it by hand and do some weathering on it. But that just about does it for this work in progress video. Again, thank you so much to everyone who donated to my GoFundMe. It's still open. But I'm in the clear. New York Comic Con is and GBWC is paid for. I'm ready to go. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to finishing this kit and showing it off and meeting some of you guys up in New York in October. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.